Hello, everyone. I'm Shane Burnham with the City of Carmel, GIS analyst. I apologize for the poor quality of my headshot here. I do not have one professionally done. It is taken straight from my Facebook. Aim to remedy that soon, so no worries. I'm here today to talk to you about modernizing city processes with PLL for contactless solutions. So instead of reading that mouthful of an abstract below, basically in a nutshell, what I'm going to talk about is how City of Carmel implemented Cityworks PLL over the last 2 years, how we integrated it with our various different softwares that we use around the city, and how we replaced our old 17-year-old legacy system with PLL. A little bit about City of Carmel. City of Carmel we hit a milestone of about 100,000 residents as of 2019. The 2020 census should solidify that figure a little bit more, so we're anxious to see that. City of Carmel processes 300 to 400 permit applications per month. So for a city our size, we are a busy shop. So finding a replacement software for our old permitting system was critical. And our pride and joy, we have lots of roundabouts. We have 134 and counting. You can see, I like to call it the roundabout soup. Down there in the image that I posted below, there's 3 roundabouts all triangle together. So take a look at the aerial photography of Carmel. It's pretty interesting. Today, so the way I'm going to divvy this presentation up is the old versus the new. Briefly hit on what we had, what we needed from a software standpoint, what we went with from a software standpoint, and why we did it, the reasons why we did it. What we had a software called SunGuard Pantomation. And this software was implemented in 2003. So about the time that we replaced it, it was running around 17 or 18 years old. It was in place for a long time. It was originally an accounting software that we more or less shoehorned into a permit review and planning application review software. It utilized Internet Explorer and Silverlight, which is now deprecated, as most of you know. And support for the software ended altogether in January of 2019. So more or less, as a city, we were forced to find a replacement for SunGuard Pantomation. What we needed. We needed some kind of web-based solution so that our employees could access this data, anywhere. Also, obviously, in our brave new COVID world, a contactless solution. With our old software, you needed to be on-prem in the office to do any kind of work in it. And that was very cumbersome for our employees because we had to be physically in the office to do any work inside our planning and permitting software. We need the ability to store data in SQL Server. Carmel is a SQL shop, so that was critical as well. We also needed the ability to easily integrate with existing software, most notably ProjectDox, which is our plan review software, and Laserfiche, which is our public records keeping software. And I'm going to talk more about those integrations here later on. We needed more awareness of permit and application status. Our old software basically acted as a data placeholder, and we needed a better way to track the overall life cycle of an application and a permit. And finally, we needed a paperless and PDF-less way to both intake and process permit and planning applications. What we went with Cityworks PLL. City of Carmel already had Cityworks AMS in place, so naturally Cityworks PLL was a good fit for us, piggybacking on that. We began the discovery and implementation process with GIS Inc. in late 2018. The whole process took about a year to a year and a half from discovery, implementation to go live. We went live with Cityworks PLL in late February of 2020. We all know what happened in March of 2020 with everything being shut down because of COVID. So we got this up and running more or less just in time. That was not planned. That date just kind of fell into our laps, and we were very lucky in working with Cityworks and GIS Inc. to get this up and running when we did. Why we did it. Like I said, our utilities department and our streets and our engineering department, I didn't list them below here, already had Cityworks AMS in place, which provides I like to say, a unified data solution so that all of our departments internally can share data more easily with one another. It utilizes our existing GIS data sets. Carmel already has our GIS Enterprise portal up and running as a GIS data solution, and Carmel already had very thorough, robust GIS data sets in place anyway, so naturally Cityworks was a good fit. And Cityworks, which also I'm going to talk about more here in a minute, is able to integrate with all of our various other softwares very seamlessly. What is Cityworks? Most of you probably already know what Cityworks is. That's why you're here today. I'm going to give you my spiel and my take on it. Cityworks is subdivided into two extensions of the software. You have AMS and PLL. AMS stands for Asset Management System, so it's work order based and dealing with individual assets that you have stored in GIS. Fire hydrants, manholes, water mains, gravity mains for your wastewater projects. Basically, you attach work orders to those, and it's a way of tracking labor and equipment. So you have that GIS-centric view of how you're managing your assets, asset management. PLL stands for Permits, Licensing, and Land, which is what I'm going to be talking about today. PLL, we went live with PLL, and it's now used by our planning and zoning, building and code enforcement, and engineering departments. Engineering is kind of an odd duck. Engineering is using both AMS and PLL. Why it's much better than what we had. Going back to what I was saying earlier about the life cycle tracking, every permit and application is workflow driven inside PLL. So we're able to track the status of a planning application or a building permit step by step. You can see when that task, workflows are divided into tasks, when it began and when it ended, and who completed that task. And you can see each individual task and track the overall where a permit stands or where an application stands. So if we ever get a phone call from one of our constituents, we can easily give them an answer right away. Every permit and application is GIS data driven. So all of your permits and applications, they're called cases that live inside PLL, can be driven by what are called map layers. And map layers tap into your GIS data sets that are hosted on your GIS server. We have tapped into many different map layers. Most notably, you can see right here all of our parcel information, all of our subdivision information, all of our zoning information. Where that work is being done for that permit instantaneously shows up as GIS data. And ease of integration with other software. Webhooks and APIs with Cityworks are, I like to say, highly malleable and easy to configure with other softwares that we have around the city. Public record solution. City of Carmel uses a software called Laserfiche for public record keeping. The city processes 90 to 100 permits and applications per week. So integration with this software was very critical, just so we wouldn't have to manually create all of the electronic building permits and any kind of receipts inside Cityworks every time. We could just immediately push those out into Laserfiche. Like I just said, when permits and applications are approved, they are immediately available for public records. So as that permit is approved inside PLL, it immediately spits out into our public record software, Laserfiche, right here. All public record creation is automated, like I just said, and all interaction is contactless. So the public, we don't need to interact with the public at all. Everything is done online, everything is done over the internet. Electronic plan approval. So City of Carmel uses a software called ProjectDox for submittals and approvals in taking plan sets. ProjectDox is a cloud-based, web-based solution for plan review. All markups, all edits to plans are stored inside ProjectDox. So making Cityworks and ProjectDox work together was also very crucial because those softwares work in tandem for our enterprise day to day. Carmel was able to more or less seamlessly stay up and running during COVID-19 because all of our plan review was done online. And then once we got Cityworks PLL up and running, every step from intake to plan review to application and permit approval is all done online now. There is no physical contact that's required. Benefits of ProjectDox integration. Once reviews are done in ProjectDox, that process is automatically updated inside the workflow in Cityworks, which I'm going to show you here in a second. It also reduces the potential for error. So once staff checks if that information is correct in Cityworks, it's sent to ProjectDox, and there's no chance of human error having to retype all of that information again to ProjectDox because the two softwares are communicating instantaneously. So all of that address information, permit information, contact information is being communicated between the two softwares. So before I sign off here with my contact info, just wanted to show you a couple of things. So right here, this is a building permit for a single family home. Here's all of the map layer data that I was talking about right here, which taps into your GIS. Here is the workflow steps down here. So in the life cycle of this permit right now, we just got it in. So it is being reviewed inside ProjectDox at the moment. So flipping over to ProjectDox, I've already got this permit up. The applicant will submit their drawings inside ProjectDox and will receive an automated email from Cityworks notifying them to do so. And as you can see right here, this information, since ProjectDox is integrated with Cityworks, all of the people role information that you see right here, applicant, contact, excavator, owner, is immediately populated inside ProjectDox right here. Eliminates error. And then switching gears here, I have a residential remodel permit up here that has just had its building permit issued. And then once that building permit task has been completed in the workflow inside PLL, it gets immediately spit out into Laserfiche, like I was talking about, our public record software right here. And the public sees this. This is actually on the city's website, and the public has complete access to this. All they need to know for reference is their building permit number. So instead of manually having our staff having to generate a building permit every time, usually takes a second. There we go. Here's our building permit. Instead of having to manually do this, this permit immediately gets spit out into the Laserfiche so that the public can access this in a PDF format right away because the two softwares are integrated. If you'd like to get in touch with me, here's my contact info. Again, I'm Shane Burnham, GIS analyst with the City of Carmel. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions. Thanks for tuning in.